morning, Service Lines community. How y'all doing today? What's up, brother Doug? How you doing?
Morning, my friend. You ever regret that start, or do you still love that roll up? You still love it? I love it.
It's a great way to
Yeah.
start off a Monday. You can't go wrong.
So, I mean, 87, no teeth. Your lip is flapping when you're doing it. You're still prepared to do
Rock
that.
and roll.
All
Rock
right.
and roll.
Beautiful. Love it.
Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning, Adam.
Yes.
Good Monday. I love this topic. It's gonna be a good one today. But before we dig into that, how was your weekend? How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good, man. I'm actually excited to come to work on Monday because I did absolutely nothing over the weekend, and it's right in the middle of the first month of the first quarter. So, thanks to my friend Zach, I've set some goals. That's exciting, right? I needed a little mentoring over the last couple of years, and you were nudging me there. So now I'm chomping at the bit to get these things done.
I'm glad to be a part of that. It's so fun to see everyone's little contributions along the way and how everyone's progressing. It's really cool to see. So
that's it. How about you?
I wouldn't say you did nothing, because I believe you're going to have a pink bathroom now, or a pink living. What's going on there?
I was trying to tell my wife we have no money, just to lie to her, just so that she would think, yeah. Man, I gave her the bathroom downstairs. It's a pretty big half bathroom, and it's like a dark green with some floral print. So usually I lose my equilibrium and balance in there. But I said, if you do that, then will you be all set? And now she wants to do a pink dining room. So leave your comments here, supporting me, of course, and then I will show my wife later how crazy she is.
My daughter said, "Oh, that's pretty." So
no.
You got one vote for Vale there.
Hey, no offense, but I will use the idea that she's a child as a reason not to do it. All right, even though your daughter may have great fashion sense. No, I don't know, man. Our kitchen has a yellow wall. Our living room has a blue wall. I'm starting to feel like a Crayola museum here if we go down that road.
I gave up a long time ago. I gave up before we even moved into the house. I said, "Listen, you're the artist. I'm out."
All right, don't tell anybody. But my wife is slightly colorblind to greens and blues, which makes her handicapped. And so I technically don't think we should give her any control of colors. I got to make sure she doesn't.
She's gonna slap you around later.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna bring this episode up to her at all. So. Thanks.
No, it happens. I had a good weekend. I can't complain.
Actually, I didn't realize I do my podcast from the dining room. So if she wins right behind my head, you might see a pink wall in the next week or two. So this is terrible. I'll have to just paint that one wall my color to win.
I mean, it's agreeable gray right now, right? Like it's that, like just
it's the wrong. It is the wrong gray, and nothing against. I mean, my wife says that, I like Broadway musicals and I've got a little touch for colors and fashion. So she suggests things about me that, in 87, I would say out loud, but you're not supposed to do that anymore. So anyway, it's the
I can't talk. That's literally my entire job, is helping people pick colors and styles. Like,
there you go. Yeah. Maybe I should fly you in.
Biker looking dude.
Yeah, you can write it off as an expense. And absolutely. Bring you in, Zach. You can navigate the Val and Doug. Are you up for that?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
Sure. I do it all. Listen, I do it all the time, every single week. So
that's it.
Not a bad weekend. I got to do a little bit of work, did a little bit of networking, and here we are on a Monday morning. The four of us as Service Alliance Group met on Saturday. We try and do an owner's retreat every year and make sure that, we're just kind of on track for what our objectives are for the next year. And we're a little bit behind the 8 ball this year. But we did a Zoom and we kind of started mapping out, and I'm excited for some of the things that are coming. So
nice.
Talk about that more as time progresses. is on, but we're excited to meet in person here and really firm up the year pretty soon. So,
This is the second full year of Service
the
Alliance.
second full year, yeah. So this will be the second owners meeting, and we just felt it was really important to kind of take it away from where we are, and that's something that actually TK and his partner have started doing. Is they kind of get away, and the two of them go and they kind of plan out what they're going to do, and they come back ready to rock and roll for Richmond Appliance Guys. So I think it is important to take that time. I forget which book I read it in, but I'll tell you what, it's probably all of them. But it's been a great methodology for just getting focused on what matters for the year. So
makes sense.
Today we are talking about the most critical part of growing your business, which is your network. Because really, if you're a technician, you're a business owner, and you have no network, who's your customers, right? So growing your network, expanding that will increase your net worth, right? Your network is your net worth. You've heard that before. And it's so true. So in the description, I put a couple of the comments that I've heard people say, well, I don't have time. I can't do this, like excuse after excuse. So Doug and I are going to share some of our tips, because we're not owner operators, and we do go out and we go to in-person networking events. But even there, you can find yourself spinning the wheels and doing a lot of fruitless meetings. So we're going to kind of talk about some of our tips and tricks and strategies for getting the most when you are doing in-person networking, and some of the experience that we've had out of the in-person networking. So yeah, it definitely wasn't the 4 agreements that I got that from, not at all. But I got a lot of other good stuff out of the 4 agreements. So we'll let Doug pray us in.
You see how that works, Rob? Yeah, he's polite. He's acknowledging that it is a good pamphlet, trying to kind of
It's a great poster, man. It's a great poster.
Yeah, bully, Rob, you bully. All right. Lord, forgive me for my thoughts of Rob. Lord God, you are a gracious God, and you provide us with everything that we need. Lord God, you are never shaken, and you know what is to come, and you know how we're feeling today. And you have given us the gift of the Holy Spirit, and you command us to trust you and to follow you. And so, Lord, I pray that you help us all as business owners and leaders understand how to bring you into our business, into our relationships, into our procedures, into our goal setting, into our reactions and pivoting. Lord, we just pray it's with peace and trust in you. Help us desire to seek you first in everything. Lord, and again, we thank you for all that is good as it comes from you. And I lift up Rob Jones to you, Lord, and I know that he's on this journey of working with a big corporation, which is something new in his life, and helping nurse his wife back to health. And so, God, we just pray that you give him the strength to continue to be a great leader to his team. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Whew. You pray for your enemies, all right? Just kidding, Rob. Just kidding. I love you, buddy.
I got a phone call once in a while from him, just going over stuff. We're birthday buddies, 2 peas in a pod, and we think a lot alike, have had a lot of similar experiences. And so to kind of walk alongside him as he's transitioning in this role is a lot of fun.
I mean, Rob is a great example. If you think that you have an idea of what networking is, and if you write down what networking looks like, and you come up with like 3 bullet points, you need to just take your time, open your mind, and realize that a conversation with Rob, who works for a manufacturer, and just checking in and talking, he's not revealing trade secrets, but to network, to talk with someone that you respect and care for, great things come from that. It sets your mindset. It's all that. So it's important to have these relationships, even with Rob.
For sure. I mean, so really the whole Service Lines group is because of a network. I networked with TK and we networked with EJ and brought Mike in, and like all along the way, we dragged Doug along with us as a co-host and some of our other co-hosts, right? So just the network continues to grow. But focusing on the in-person, both of us are a part of BNI, Business Networking International, and we each attend a weekly meeting. You do yours on Zoom and mine is in person. But the point is, it's a local network within your community, right? And so it's a 90-minute meeting every week, right? And that kind of feels like a drag, doesn't it? Like, I'm gonna do this every week. I remember when I first came into it, like, I'm an owner operator at the appliance company 7 years ago, owner operator, and trying to figure out how am I going to run service calls and network and do this and and I came into it with the wrong mindset. So I think tip number one is to realize, if your goal is to grow, if your goal is to bring more people on, you need to look at that time as an investment in the future. And so stop thinking of it as a drag on your day and, oh man, I'm going to have to do more calls later. I got to offload calls to my team. Look at it as an investment in your future and not having to be an owner operator and truly moving into an owner position. If that's your goal, if you want to be an owner operator, I'm not knocking that. But if your goal is to get off the road, you got to kind of break that mindset and realize that this is an investment in the future. So,
the return on investment, Zach, is quicker than you might think.
Oh, heck yeah.
Sometimes we can feel overwhelmed with our day-to-day actions, especially if you're wearing a lot of hats. And so the idea is, I don't know how I can fit something like this in. And what's incredible is the instant you do it, it doesn't take but a little bit of time of minutes or hours talking and meeting and networking for you to walk away with an inspiration, with an idea or a solution or a partner that can help you overcome a challenge. Right. BNI is a great example, because in that group, it could be insurance companies, payroll companies, property
flooring companies, because all you guys and scratching floors.
Sure. And so you're not just looking to get new customers, you're also rubbing shoulders with other business owners that have the same challenges we do. So
yep. I mean, I love, and so with the flooring, and we do a little bit of remodel, and so I'm constantly working with my plumber. We've passed more business than I can count. At this point, it's just gotten ridiculous how much we've passed back and forth, but I know that I can trust him, right? We've developed a friendship, and in that, I'm the one who brought him into the BNI because he has a like mind, right? So he's a guy that's studying, he's reading books, he's trying to get better, he's listening to podcasts, he's doing the things that we all in this community are doing, right? And I'm like, man, this is a guy that I want to get to know more. And we're already passing a ton of business, but I'd love to pass just that much more business and have him get business from others, right? And so I brought him in, and now that traction is beginning to gain. Could you imagine, like, just being able to work with a group of your friends? I got to know the disaster guys. I do a ton of business with the disaster guys now, right? Sure.
You guys are perfect match. Yeah.
Right. And so it just continues to perpetuate. But that took a while to build. It took 6 months to build the level of trust to the point that his estimator and I go out on estimates together. I fire it off. They give me the approval, and we're out the door and running.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you what, I do find it funny that we've always struggled in our group to find an HVAC guy. And whenever we've tried to, if we knew, I know two companies, two owners, And they're like, I've got plenty of work and I am so busy, I don't have time for it. Right. And it's like, well, I guess that makes sense to me. Now, one of them is a high school friend. We both went to trade school together, and he was at the owner of Action's house because he put the furnace system in before the owner bought it, and it went down. And he had two guys there for over 3 hours, and he only charged $225 for two men in 3 hours. And it's like, my friend, he's a great HVAC guy, but he has not been able to scale his business. He's always got to be out there. And there's this thing about networking and knowing your industry and making good decisions and being pushed and nudged or inspired to look at your own business. I mean, he's a great steal, but how much longer can he keep doing this? And he's been doing it as long as I've been doing it. So 30 something years, but he's still one of the main techs. So I've talked to him a little bit about it, but when you rub shoulders with other business owners, it helps you see things, even though we're not in the same business.
Well, not just that. I mean, clearly he's too busy. Clearly he's undercharging. Can he find someone to work with him? Can he find an employee through his network? The answer is yes, because I've seen it happen within our group. Sure. Right? Yeah.
With me. Sure.
And so, like, if you're looking to not just be that owner operator anymore, you're looking to find a great hire. What better than a vetted source of business owners that are out in the community that can have their heads on a swivel? Mm-hmm. We got 22 people in our group. Now, all of a sudden, I have 22 people looking for other salesmen for me. Good night. Can you imagine? Right? Like, and customers, and like, I mean, it's built in people, and it grows. I found that I get a lot more out of giving. I've given more referrals than I've gotten. And I love it. Like, I love being able to, go out there with our painter and go on the estimate and like see that customer go, oh my gosh, that's absolutely the right person for me. You know what I mean?
Yep. So I found the greatest so far. It's only been one meeting. And I was sure that this networking meeting, someone was going to try to pitch me some Amway or something. I was so skeptical of this, but here's the deal. So we've been talking about our businesses and how we can network to get customers, to get employees, to get inspiration and knowledge from peers to make sure we're running a business properly. But for me, thanks to people like you, I think that our book club on Wednesday mornings is a form of networking. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And from that, reading a couple books, I realized that Action Appliance needed to adopt a more structured sort of leadership system, right? Mm-hmm. So now I'm using EOS, and I have hit the wall for months trying to figure out how to implement it because I'm a rookie. So I've utilized all the resources they give me, and I was introduced to a Facebook page, and so I'm in this book. I'm called the Integrator, right? So Jay's the visionary. I'm the guy who says, pie in the sky dream. Let's see if I can make that happen for you, Jay, and put together process and procedure. I'm good at it. I've gotten better as I've been trying to grow the lid. So now I'm in this monthly group with other integrators, with businesses around the country, some bigger and some smaller. This to me is mind blowing. I mean, I'm learning so much hanging out and networking with other integrators that are trying to create process and procedure. So for me, I think that's an investment in me as I network for my own wisdom, my own knowledge, which will again benefit the business and my life, So we have to make sure we keep a broad brush when we talk about networking.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, you can waste a ton of time, right? So I'm also in the chamber, which is another in-person meeting. We have a business builders on Friday mornings, just down the road from me. And I have a network of business owners there that I can pass business with, and it's not as fruitful as BNI for me per se. But out of that, personally, I got a new accountant who then introduced me to their business accountant, so I can kind of restructure my business a little bit and, put on my big boy pants and actually, run my LLC and pay myself the correct way. I got 5 businesses and they all need to be funneled into the right thing so I can actually be classified as a consultant properly. And run my business like a big boy. And so like through that, being able to meet with them, they came in and they saved me last year when my accountant decided, yeah, we're just not going to do your taxes, but they're due in a week. Yeah, we're just not going to do them. You had an entire year. And so I reached out to this girl. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've never experienced someone just like, yeah, we've wasted an entire year of your time. Hey, good luck. Go to jail. And she took care of it. And so like that to me, she's earned lifetime business, right? Like I will not go to another accounting firm because of that.
Right.
And so you can find this group of people that can really help you grow and scale your business. Through that, I met a roofer, Mikey, my hippie roofer friend. And that dude is just such a solid dude. And we sit and we chat business. And funny enough, he was in the appliance world. He used to work for Union Electronics here in Chicagoland. He used to work for Union Electronics Distribution in Chicagoland. So it's just, your network grows the more that you put yourself out there. Now, on the same token, you can spin your wheels going to meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. So what has kind of been your hook in figuring out like, okay, this is going to be a waste of time. I don't want to do that one again, but maybe I'll do more of this. Like, have you figured out an approach?
Yeah. I mean, I think you gotta put everything aside and do an inventory of all your networking opportunities, and then evaluate. So I've stepped down, from certain things, and I've closed off some stuff that isn't fruitful. Matter of fact, I think I could share it here. It won't matter. Anyway, Facebook has messenger groups, like collaboration and seeing people succeed and fail. Again, what they go through usually will not work perfectly for me.
Sure.
But it could be an inspiration. I say that all the time. Recently, just over the weekend, there's one of the messenger groups. It's a little bit of a smaller appliance group. Somebody just had to get on and start whining, complaining about people in the industry. And I just couldn't stop myself. And I wasn't filled with rage. I just threw a couple swear words so they knew I was serious about it and just said, shut up. If you've got nothing good to say, shut the hell up, because we have this chance to network thanks to social media across the country, from California to Canada to everywhere. And it's amazing.
Our Aussies.
Yes, that's right. So I forgot about that. So yeah, it was kind of, and if it's a toxic situation or it's not fruitful, cut it. Cut it.
I think like the chamber after hours, I'll show my face, but like I don't put a ton of time into after hours because it doesn't, like there's not value in it. It's a bunch of people getting drunk and hanging out. And so like, yeah, I'll mingle before the drinks really get flowing, and then I see myself to the door after that because I know where the value in that is, right?
If you ever get to a spot where you think you know enough or you know it all, or that you have an answer for everyone, you have fallen out of grace, and you now have lost your humility, your humbleness. In our very own mastermind group, a program that we've had for over 25 years, sharing it with my peer group, mastermind group, they're plugging it in, and it's exciting. It's revitalizing me and inspiring me to look at it and get our team back on board. And so to give often means that you will get something back, but it's not a transactional thing where you can tally it on a sheet. And that's a mindset issue that I know people in the industry, people close to me, that don't believe in that. It's like, I put in this time and I gave these ideas and suggestions, but I don't think I got anything back. And it's impossible. It's impossible not to get anything back. It's instinctual as survival of a human being. If you go somewhere and it's a waste of your time, you won't even waste your time complaining about it. You'll just say, nah, that's not for me. And you move on until you find a group of people that will inspire you.
Would you agree, though, that with a wrong mindset, it is possible to not get anything in return?
That's
because yeah, I mean, I think
close to it, and you're like, I didn't get anything out of it. Yeah, where did that come from? Where did that thing you're about to do on Tuesday? Where do you think that germinated out of?
Right. I mean, I think of BNI, like the main mantra of BNI is that givers gain, and so like every approach that I do is like, how can I pour more into this? Not so much worried about what's coming back to me.
That's right.
Because what ends up coming back to me is tenfold. But if I'm so focused on what am I getting out of this, I get nothing. And it's a mindset thing. It's because my mindset is wrong that I get nothing out of that. Right.
I don't even know. I think it's almost impossible. It's impossible to be completely closed-minded and think that you've learned it all. You'll become irrelevant soon enough. And the scary part is if you're not networking with a humble heart, you won't even know it. You'll just become saltier and saltier and more bitter. And I think we know and have met some of those people in industries, whether it's an auto service business or whatever. Too much has changed. This is the industry's dead. Really? What's going on over there? It's dead for you because your mind died a long time ago. So telling you now, if for the 8 people that listen, if you think you don't need to network, if you think you don't have time, I think that you really need to question that, because that at the very heart of it, you got to have an open mind.
Do you feel like networking has really firmed up a lot of what you're doing within the business, like locally, right? So your local network, do you feel like it's helped kind of grow your presence locally and your top of mind awareness locally, or maybe not?
I mean, the kind of networking I do locally, unfortunately, we have a territory that's pretty large. So I have, one.
So your area might grow, but
it's a group that covers 50 miles, but we have Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. And the idea, so that's an interesting thought, right?
So what you're saying is you need people in those other areas networking for you.
Well, so that's the question. So the only way I would do that, let's say with a manager or some other leader in my company, is that it would be a 2-pronged thing. You're going to see if you can spread the word about us and see if we can get leads. But before that, it's a place for you to grow yourself. It's a place for you to be with peers, to learn and grow every day. In my peer group, the mortgage person, he's passed away, probably the smartest person that I've ever met in my life. And he was such a giver's gain guy. He would do anything for me. And at his funeral, I mean, there were probably 600 people that were all business people, because he loved business and he loved to help people. So yeah, if I saw someone in my company that needed the next step of leadership growth through networking, I would probably join another BNI group in another territory with the secondary focus of getting some leads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think as you begin to flex your networking muscle, I'm going to go back to this real quick. Yes, it is. I'm just trying not to take the daily topics from everyone else the rest of the week. But yes, this whole community is a form of networking. And Doug's already inspired another idea in me, and the rest of the guys are going to hate me, and I'm going to have to figure out time to make it happen. But Doug already inspired something in me. So,
well, networking. Yeah.
Because I have time for that.
But in the parallel of let's train a technician. He needs to be mechanically inclined. But what's the most important thing? He's a people person. And that he loves to serve people. If that's what you start with. Same thing goes with networking. If you're going to network, it's for you here, and then from there you will get leads. You will get referrals. And it doesn't take many referrals to pay for a BNI membership. It's 3, 4 referrals.
I paid for it in literally in the first one. It was game over.
That's
the profit margin on that job was like, wow, I just paid for my 2-year membership. Good gosh.
Yeah, nice big,
but again, I digress. 3, an appliance repair, if you're charging appropriately, can pay for a year to 2 years of BNI membership. It's so worth it, not to mention all the things that you get. Like if you need someone to grow, I'm on the membership committee, so I get to review the incoming applicants. I get to kind of work with the leadership team and grow my own leadership. I'm a chapter success coach now, so I get to scale up that leadership even more and inspire other chapters and how to grow, which furthers my network. But I was going to go into go ahead.
But it grows you, Zach.
For sure. Yeah.
Leaders ever, right? Me serving on the UASA board, me being on the BNI leadership, that stuff helps me. And I think Paul's making the point.
He's not wrong. I know I uttered the phrase, I don't have time for that, but the reality is I have to decide what is my most valuable focus. And so my thought process created something else for the Service Alliance community, which is going to add more time to me. But I've already passed off the leadership torch on our Wednesday morning book club to the community. So I don't have to be in charge of that anymore. I can pop in as I need to and pop out. And so I have a feeling that this next insane venture is going to be a very similar thing. I'm going to grow some leaders up, pop in as I need to, and pop out eventually.
It's not all or nothing. You do have to figure out, and maybe someone has just an hour a week, but there sure is a lot
maximize it.
There's a lot of drive time between calls. Now I don't do calls, but because Saul is so mean to me, he did call me. This is a great example. He did call me last week randomly in the morning while I was driving, and on the phone with him was one of the whole national manager who I know, and they're coming in next week with this potential game changer for Parts For Me. And it became a Saul apologizing for being mean. No, I didn't apologize. To this 3-way meeting, and now something's going to really affect Action Appliance, I think, in a positive way. So you have to do both. You have to do it all, Paul. You're going to have to manage that time in there.
Yep. Yeah, I think he was more picking on me for my.
Oh, I know.
I don't have time, but the reality is you have to decide what is valuable to you. And so being on leadership within my BNI doesn't take that much more time. It's an extra half an hour every week, every month. And then the CSC, I'm already doing other meetings. So now I'm just switching to being in charge of chapters that can grow my network and getting paid to do it. And so it's just figuring out what's available. It wasn't about what I can get back. It was what I could give. And then through what I could give, I ended up getting tenfold back. Yeah. So I think it is so important to kind of filter through, you start with, what do I want to accomplish? Who are we going to be as a company? What is our goal as a company? Is it to stay the one man? Cool. Maybe go to a chamber meeting once in a while, get yourself in the community that can build your network, do the online networking like we're doing now, get some knowledge, stuff like that. Great. That's good for a 1-man show, 2-man show. If you're trying to scale beyond that, invest the time in developing a rich network of people that can refer you and that you can refer as well. You know how valuable it is to be able to go into a house with a pamphlet and go, listen, I got a plumber, I got an electrician, I got 2 plumbers you can choose from if you want. I got a house cleaner. great, we got you covered. Get 2 different painters if you want. You know what I mean? Like, and so being able to go into a house for a customer and have these resources makes you more valuable because your network is so valuable to them.
Sure.
So you're giving it away and getting so much more in return.
I agree.
It's kind of a no-brainer.
I'm looking at some of the people that are in with us in this podcast. You are many of you guys were multitasking as technicians, right? First, you got to learn how to fix appliances and learn how to work with customers. And then after a while, we start to look at the process of the business that we work for. Like, oops, that doesn't seem so efficient. From my perspective, I would do this differently. I would make these changes. And all of a sudden, before you're a business owner, you're thinking like an owner. So we're already multitasking most of us from the very early stage. When you do become an owner, you can't get stuck in the weeds. You can't prioritize and do the top 3 things only. You need to grow yourself. Otherwise, you'll lose 10 years. And I speak from example. 10 years of just doing it on what I know and, recovering from the 15 things that I do. Progress has to happen.
We've talked about top of mind before as well. So like to not waste time, right? I'm known as someone who's got a guy, right? Like I got a guy for everything. And so I still get phone calls from people from 10, 15 years ago.
Sure.
Hey, I need this. Oh yeah, here. I'll text you his card. No problem. I'm top of mind to people from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I grew my network and now my network's even bigger. Sure. Right. And so someone that I networked with in high school called me the other day. His future brother-in-law needed a plumber. That's cool. Absolutely. I got a guy.
Yeah.
Sent it across. Hey, we need a tree guy. Sent it across. Right. And so I'm top of mind for someone from 15 years ago. Sure. So when he needs flooring, hey, I'm ready to do that floor. Hey, I'm ready to do that backsplash. Right. Like now all of a sudden it's me. So could you imagine taking that out? Oh, yeah, I got a plumber for you. Cool. Hey, I need my front load washer fixed as well.
Yeah.
I'm your guy. It's the cheapest form of top of mind networking possible. You can't get any more cheap as far as like a true monetary, but the value is just like way more than what you put in.
So Zach, when you get to network, meet at an owner to owner, leader to leader meeting, and you see, like in our BNI group, if there's a guy that's constantly late to every meeting, and when he gets there, he's sharing stories that are less than positive. Yep. Yeah, I'm able from afar to go, yeah, I probably need to look for a plumber in a different group or somewhere else. You get to know people. And so I love the top of mind thing that you've left a lasting impression based on who you are as a person. And so that's a kind of deep dive understanding of people that you refer.
It starts with the giver's gain, though. It starts with me being willing and me having that right mindset, because you hit the nail on the head. If I'm that guy that's late to the meeting, if I'm that guy that's crabby in the meeting, it doesn't matter how good the referrals are that I'm giving. It doesn't matter how good that I got a guy is. It doesn't matter. So you got to start internally, and that's the part that you've been hammering on. And I think it's so important. I think it needs to be highlighted. Like, change that mindset that you have, and just try the giver's gain for a little bit and see what happens. It's gonna absolutely blow your mind. Giving more to others, funny enough, you'll see what happens on return. It's hard to quantify. Honestly, it's hard to quantify.
The easy first step, if you're not in a mastermind or peer group, you need to get in one. I mean, that's a foundational. And I'm not sure when you guys are, launching or taking
coming soon.
There you go.
Yeah, we're shooting for the monthly ones to start in February. We're going to be talking about it on Thursday, just trying to firm up. It might be March, but we're shooting for February to make that first one happen.
We meet at 8:00 at night, Eastern Standard Time. We fit it in. We fit it in. It's a commitment.
So I'll give a little taste of what's coming in the year because we've firmed this much up. We are looking at once a month. We're going to do a 2-hour mastermind on a Saturday. So it's not interrupting anyone's work. It's going to be a Saturday morning. Come 2 hours, we mastermind and go work on it for a month. Stay in contact with the people within that, connect throughout that month. But the teaching portion of it, the large group time of it is going to be once a month on a Saturday morning for 2 hours. And then give you some foundations to build going out.
You're strongly implying what it is. To be honest with you, I've never heard of the word mastermind until I met you and EJ and TK. But do you have like a couple, like 2-3 bullet points of what a 2-hour mastermind is on a Saturday morning?
So the point of a mastermind, like if you go back to the guy that created it, right? Think and Grow Rich. A mastermind is coming together for a specific purpose, for a specific mission. So when they did it originally, it was the oil barons going, how the heck are we going to keep making money? And they all came together and went, oh yeah, this is how we're going to do it. And then they went off and did it, right? So they came together for that time, for that mission. So maybe the first month's mission is picking up the guys that haven't set their goals for the year. And in February, like, okay, it's February. You're 2 months into the first quarter now, and you haven't set your goals. We're all going to come together with this mission of getting everyone's goals firmed up. And if you have made some goals, let's do a check-in. Let's do a reality check and figure out, hey, we're on track, or no, maybe we need to adjust this target. Sure. And so like teaching the principle will be the first piece of that. Okay, here's what this looks like in practicality. And the other piece of it is going to be coming together with this large group from around the world that thinks differently than you personally, similarly, but differently. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm doing this. Oh, I never thought to do that. I'm doing this. Oh, you know what? That's great. Now we can marry these two ideas together. And then all of a sudden we're both successful in it. So that's kind of really what a mastermind looks like. We've taken some of the stuff that we've gotten as far as feedback and really refined it down.
You know, Zach, how sometimes you make like 3-4 changes, or you implement 3 or 4 things in your business, and you have this positive impact, and you're like, damn, now I can't tell exactly which thing had the best impact or the most impact, or which worked and which didn't. I mean, I'd say I led the company in probably, I'll say it's luck and intuition of experience, that the first 10 years Action Appliance grew. But just again, it seems like magic how I was able to do it, because it's only been the last few years that I've invested in, growth of mindset and networking. So that's all the things we've talked about. BNI, mastermind, I used to go to ASTI. That was my networking experience, is one annual conference a year. And so now I would tell you for sure, it's the weekly mastermind with a core group of people that care about me and care about my success and care about my business and care about my people in my business as much as I do. And collectively, we help each other. So as you were talking about goal setting, I started to sweat, although it's becoming way easier for me. But trying to remember back to those days that would be hard for me. Whatever I struggle with, my mastermind people are right by my side to encourage me and inspire me. So
I remember it vividly. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I wasn't even in your mastermind. I'm encouraging you to set goals on the podcast, and you're going.
Spreadsheet. I might have saw like 1 or 2 meetings before you stepped out, but it's a. So there's been a lot of things, but for sure the mastermind is the first place to start. If you've got, if you're disconnected and you don't have a bunch of peers by your side, you need to start there.
I'm excited for that. And
you guys only charge what, $1,000 a year to be in a mastermind?
No. Well, Yeah. We'll talk about pricing once we officially launch this new structure. It's again, like you got to make these incremental changes along the way. So I'm excited for this new launch. So we've talked for a good long time today. We're gonna let these people go. Don't go away, Doug. Don't hang up on the line. I know you like to hang up right away. Just hold on 1 minute more. We're gonna say goodbye to these good people, and we're gonna debrief after. We'll catch you guys all on the morning grind next time. See you guys.